Be me, Vanessa, 29, flying into Austin for a work conference that I'm already dreading. The company booked us at some budget hotel 40 minutes from the venue, and when I checked the reviews, half of them mentioned bedbugs. Hard pass. I'm scrolling through my contacts trying to figure out who I know in Texas when I remember my cousin Matthew lives here. We used to be close growing up. Family barbecues, that one road trip to California, all that. Haven't seen him in maybe 2.5 years though. Last I heard, he was doing well, something with software engineering. I shoot him a text. Hey stranger, in Austin for work next week. Any chance I could crash at your place? Hotels are a nightmare, and I promise I'm a good house guest. He responds within an hour. Yeah, no problem. I've got a guest room. When do you fly in? Easy. I tell myself I'll take him out for dinner as a thank you, catch up, maybe gently probe why the family group chat says he's still single. Aunt Marie won't shut up about it. Her golden boy who used to bring a different girlfriend to him every holiday. Now radio silent on the relationship front for years. The flight is whatever. I work on a presentation, half watch a documentary, eat a sad airport salad. When I land, Matthew texts me his address and says to just come up, doors open. His apartment complex is nicer than I expected. Not luxury, but definitely not the struggling bachelor pad I'd pictured. Clean hallways, actual landscaping, a gym in the building. I take the elevator to the 3rd floor and find his door. Matthew, I call out as I step inside. Kitchen, he yells back. I walk in and stop. The place is nice, like really nice. Hardwood floors, a sectional couch that looks expensive, art on the walls that isn't just random posters. It smells like garlic and something cooking. The living room has a huge TV. A gaming setup with one of those chairs that cost like $600, and a bookshelf packed with actual books, not just decor. Matthew walks out of the kitchen wearing a t-shirt and joggers, drying his hands on a towel. He looks good, better than I remember. He's lean, like he actually goes to the gym, and his hair's cut sharp. He's got this easy confidence that throws me off. Vanessa, get over here. He hugs me, quick and warm. How was the flight? Long. Your place is really nice. Thanks. I've been here about a year. You hungry? I made pasta. You made pasta? He laughs. It's not that hard. Come on. I'll show you the guest room first. The guest room has a queen bed, blackout curtains, a little desk, and its own closet. It's cleaner than my actual bedroom at home. I drop my bag and follow him back to the kitchen where he's plating 2 bowls of penne with marinara and grilled chicken. We sit at his dining table, an actual dining table, not some IKEA card table, and eat. The pasta's legitimately good. I'm scanning his apartment while we chew. There's a framed photo of him and some stocky guy on a mountain peak, another of him with a group at what looks like a brewery. On the bookshelf, I spot finance books, sci-fi novels, a travel guide for Japan. His kitchen has nice knives, a spice rack that's actually organized, a coffee setup that probably cost more than my rent. This isn't a man waiting for a woman to come fix his life. This is a man who already built the life he wanted. So, I say, twirling my fork, catch me up. Work's good? Yeah, really good. Got promoted last year. Fully remote now, so I basically just work from here. He gestures around. Gives me a lot of freedom. That's awesome. And dating? Seeing anyone? He smirks a little, like he knew this was coming. Nope. Really? How long has it been? 3 years, give or take. I blink. 3 years? Matthew, you used to be the relationship guy. I was, he says, taking a sip of water. Not anymore. Did something happen? Bad breakup? Not really. Just realized I'm better off this way. I laugh, assuming he's joking. Come on, you don't really believe that. He looks at me, and there's no bitterness in his face. No defensiveness, just calm. I do, actually. I don't know what to say to that. He gets up to grab more water, and I look around his apartment again. Everything about this screams stability, contentment. Mom keeps asking about you, you know, I say when he sits back down. She's worried you're going to end up alone. I am alone, he says simply, and I'm fine. The way he says it bothers me more than it should. The next day, Matthew mentions he's meeting his friend Colin at a brewery around 6 and asks if I want to come along. I say yes, mostly because sitting in his apartment alone feels weird, and also because I'm curious about this friend he keeps mentioning. The brewery is one of those trendy spots with exposed brick and long communal tables. Matthew and I grab a corner booth, and a few minutes later, Colin walks in. He's the guy from the photo on the mountain. Stocky build, flannel, work boots. He shakes my hand with the grip of someone who actually uses his hands for a living. Vanessa, right? The cousin. That's me. Matthew said you're in town for work. What do you do? Marketing consultant. Mostly corporate stuff. Nice. He flags down a server and orders an IPA without looking at the menu. Matthew does the same. I order a cider because I don't actually like beer. The conversation starts light. Colin talks about a project he's working on, some custom deck build for a client in Westlake. Matthew mentions the climbing gym they're hitting tomorrow. They have this rhythm, the kind you only get with people who've known each other for years. So Matthew tells me you've been grilling him about why he's single, Colin says, grinning. I feel my face get hot. I wasn't grilling, just asking. It's fine, Matthew says. She thinks I'm going to die alone and regret it. Classic, Colin says, taking a long sip. Everyone thinks that. Well, don't you want someone? I ask. Matthew and Colin exchange a look. Then Colin leans back and says, if someone means keeping my money, my peace, and my sanity, then nah. I'm good. Come on, I press. You're both successful. You have your lives together. Why wouldn't you want a partner? Matthew sets his beer down. You really want to know? Yeah, I do. Colin nods, like he's giving permission. All right, Matthew says. You remember Derek? Our cousin Derek? Yeah. He got divorced 2 years ago, lost the house, sees his kids every other weekend, pays child support on a salary that used to be comfortable but now barely covers his rent. He did everything right. Faithful, good provider, good dad. Didn't matter. The system's rigged. I open my mouth to argue, but Colin cuts in. I was married, he says. 26 to 28. She wanted a provider, so I provided. 60-hour weeks, so she could work part-time doing something she liked. I paid for everything. House, cars, vacations. I was fine with it. He pauses, swirls his beer. But she also wanted me to split chores 50-50, do all the emotional labor, ask permission before making decisions. She wanted a traditional man without being a traditional woman. And any time I had a problem, I was controlling or insecure. She'd go out every weekend, post photos that made me uncomfortable, but if I said anything, I was possessive. Colin looks at me, not angry, just tired. I wasn't a partner. I was a utility. And when I stopped being useful, I was replaceable. The server drops off another round. I didn't even see Matthew order it. My last relationship, Matthew says, was 2 years of walking on eggshells. Every day was a new fight. I didn't text fast enough. I played games with friends instead of watching her shows. I didn't plan enough dates, even though she never planned any. She'd use therapy words to justify everything. I was emotionally unavailable. I wasn't doing the labor. I needed to show up for her. But when I asked what she was doing for me, I was being selfish. He takes a drink. Now I wake up and do what I want. See who I want. Travel when I want. No one's mad at me for existing. I'm happier than I've ever been. I want to argue. I want to tell them they're generalizing, that they're scared, that not all women are like that. But I don't. Colin finishes his beer and stands. I gotta head out. Early start tomorrow. He claps Matthew on the shoulder, nods at me. Nice meeting you, Vanessa. And hey, I don't hate women. I just love my peace more. He walks out. I sit there staring at my half-finished cider, the words stuck in my throat. That night, I can't sleep. I'm lying in Matthew's guest room, replaying everything. Derek's divorce, Colin's marriage, Matthew's ex. It all comes down to 5 things. 1. The system punishes men financially. 2. Women want traditional benefits without being traditional. 3. Relationships feel like minefields. 4. The math doesn't add up anymore. Debt and baggage versus demands for perfection. 5. Men remember every rejection when women finally settle for them. I want to argue with all of it, but I can't, because I've done every single one of those things. The next morning, Matthew asks if I want to tag along to the climbing gym. I'm not really into fitness, but I say yes because I'm still processing last night and I don't want to sit alone with my thoughts. The gym is massive, walls covered in colourful holds, people in harnesses dangling from ropes, the smell of chalk dust everywhere. Matthew changes into workout clothes and meets Colin near the bouldering section. I sit on a bench with my phone, pretending to answer emails while watching them climb. They move like they've done this 1,000 times, chalking their hands, planning routes, calling out encouragement. When Matthew reaches the top of a particularly tough route, Colin whoops and they bump fists. They're happy, not pretending, not filling time, just genuinely enjoying themselves. A girl around my age approaches their section, athletic, ponytail, no makeup. She asks Matthew something about a route, and they chat for a minute. She's smiling, he's smiling. Then she walks away, and he just goes back to climbing. No number exchange, no lingering looks, just back to the wall. I pull out my phone and type into Google, "Why are men giving up on marriage?" The results are endless. Reddit threads with thousands of upvotes, YouTube videos with millions of views, forums full of men saying the exact same things Matthew and Colin said. I tell myself it's just the internet, echo chambers. But I keep scrolling. After an hour, they're done. We grab smoothies at the juice bar next door. Colin mentions a camping trip they're planning for next month. Big Bend, 4 days, no cell service. "You should come," Colin says to Matthew. "Already requested the time off." They talk about gear, trails, some inside joke about the last trip where Matthew forgot a tent pole. I'm just sitting there, third wheeling, watching 2 guys plan a life that doesn't need anyone else in it. On the drive back to Matthew's apartment, I ask, "Do you ever get lonely?" He glances at me. Sometimes, but loneliness passes. Regret doesn't. Regret? Yeah. Regret from choosing wrong, losing half your stuff, becoming a weekend dad. That doesn't pass. I don't have a response to that. Back at his place, I work from his dining table while he's on Zoom calls. I keep watching him through the open door of his room. His routine is so structured, intentional. He's not filling voids, he's not distracting himself. I catch myself comparing. My routine is coffee, emails, doom scrolling, complaining to my group, chat about men, then more emails. His is purposeful. He wakes up, works out, works, plays guitar, games with friends, reads before bed. I tell myself he's just good at faking contentment, that he's probably lonely at night. But I've been here 3 days now. I've seen him at night. He's fine. He's always fine. That evening, his phone lights up on the coffee table, a dating app notification. "You're on the apps?" I ask. He glances at it. "Sometimes. Mostly for entertainment." "Entertainment?" "Yeah." He picks it up and opens it, then hands it to me. "See for yourself." I scroll through profile after profile. Women aged 28 to 35. Every bio is some variation of must be 6 feet plus, looking for something serious, no hookups, love to travel. Group shots, heavy filters, bikini pics, some mention being single moms, student loans. Still figuring life out. Matthew takes his phone back. They all want a top 10% guy. Meanwhile, most of them are bringing debt and baggage. Where's the incentive? How many guys did you swipe left on because they were boring? He asks. I think about my own profile, my own bio. Looking for someone who can keep up. Must be ambitious. I think about the guys I rejected. The accountant who was sweet but too quiet. The teacher who didn't make enough. The IT guy who wanted to take me hiking. What happened to those guys? Matthew asks. I don't answer. They're doing fine. A lot of them make good money now. They're in shape, they have lives they like, and they're not on the apps anymore. They opted out because they spent their 20s being rejected by women who wanted someone better. He's not being mean. He's just stating facts. On my fourth night, Matthew says Colin's hosting a small dinner at his place. Just a few guys from their friend group. He asks if I want to come. I almost say no, but curiosity wins. Colin's house is in a suburb outside Austin, modest, well-maintained, a truck in the driveway. Inside, there are 3 other guys already there, 2 in their early 30s, 1 maybe late 20s. They're friendly, shake my hand, make small talk. Colin's grilling steaks in the backyard. Someone brought beer. Another guy brought a speaker and puts on classic rock. It's casual, relaxed. No one's on their phone. They're just present. Dinner's on the patio. The steaks are perfect. Someone made a salad. There's garlic bread. We eat and talk, work, sports, some story about a disastrous fishing trip last summer. Then one of the guys, Eric, mentions his ex. She texted me last week, he says, laughing, after 3 years, out of nowhere. What did she want? Matthew asks. Didn't say, just, hey, how have you been? I left her on red. Smart, Colin says. She's the one who left, right? The younger guy asks. Yeah. Said I wasn't ambitious enough. I was managing a gym, made $45K. She wanted someone who made 6 figures. So she left, dated some finance bro for a year. That didn't work out, and now she's sliding back. And you're making, Matthew asks. 85. Opened my own gym last year. Everyone laughs. They always come back, Colin says. The older guy, James, sets down his beer. My sister's going through it right now. 34, never married, 2 kids from different guys. She keeps asking me why men her age won't date her. What do you tell her? I ask, before I can stop myself. I don't. What am I supposed to say? That she spent her 20s chasing guys who were never going to commit? That the guys who wanted her back then, the accountants, the teachers, the steady guys, they're all married now or checked out. He takes a bite of steak. She makes decent money, but she's got debt. The kids are great, but they're baggage to any guy who doesn't have kids, and she still has a list. Must be 6 feet, must make 6 figures, must be okay with her priorities always being her kids. I love her, but the math doesn't work. What about single dads? I ask. Single dads with their shit together are getting women in their 20s, Colin says. Why would they date someone their age with more complications? I'm sitting there, quiet, just listening. They're not bitter. They're not angry. They're just done. My ex is engaged now, the younger guy says. Saw it on Instagram. Some dude who looks exactly like what she said she wanted. Good for her, I guess. You miss her? Eric asks. Nah, I missed who I thought she was, but that person didn't exist. The conversation shifts to the camping trip, then to some movie they all want to see. I excuse myself to use the bathroom. Inside, I pass through Colin's living room. It's clean, masculine, comfortable. There's a photo on the shelf, him and a woman on their wedding day. I stare at it for a second too long. When I come back outside, Eric's talking about his current dating approach. I have 3 rules now, he says. If she has more than $10,000 in debt that isn't a mortgage or student loans, I'm out. If she talks shit about her exes on the first date, I'm out. If she mentions what her friends think about me before I've even met them, I'm out. That's harsh, I say. Is it? He looks at me. I spent my 20s being told I wasn't good enough. Too short, not ambitious enough, too boring. Now I'm good enough? Now I check the boxes? Why would I sign up for someone who finally settled for me? Matthew nods. Most guys I know have lists now, not height or income, actual deal breakers. No single moms, no women with OnlyFans or spicy Instagrams. No one who can't cook or refuses to split chores fairly. No one who thinks their degree makes them better than a guy in the trades. Women have lists, I say defensively. Exactly, Colin says. So why are we the assholes when we have standards too? I don't have an answer to that. The conversation shifts to the camping trip, then to some movie they all want to see. I excuse myself to grab another drink from the cooler. When I come back outside, Matthew's talking. Vanessa asked me the other day what I'm offering, he says. Like, to a potential partner. I freeze. And, Eric asks. I told her, stability, loyalty, effort, intention. I'm in shape, I make good money, I have hobbies and friends, I'm emotionally available if the person's worth it. But I'm not competing for someone who sees me as a utility. Colin raises his beer. Amen. They all clink bottles. I feel like I'm watching something I'm not supposed to see. A world that doesn't need my approval, doesn't need women's approval. On the drive home, I ask Matthew, do you really think most women see men as utilities? He's quiet for a second. Then, I think most women want the benefits of traditional relationships without offering anything traditional back. They want men to pursue, to lead, to provide, to protect. But they also want 50-50 everything. And they'll call you a misogynist if you expect them to cook or clean or show appreciation. That's not fair. You dated Jordan for 2 years. Remember him? I freeze. He was a teacher, made $45,000 a year, loved you, wanted to marry you. You left him because he wasn't ambitious enough. I remember the exact moment I decided to leave him. We were at his apartment and he was excited about getting approved to teach summer school. An extra $3,000, he was so proud. And all I could think was, this is it? This is his ambition? Meanwhile, I was 26 with $18,000 in credit card debt and no savings. But somehow, I still felt like I was settling. Now you're upset that guys with money don't want to commit, Matthew says. But why would they? You spent your 20s selecting for the top 10%. Those guys have options. Why would they choose someone who sees them as a paycheck with a personality? I sit there, silent, staring out the window. For the first time in years, I feel something I've been avoiding: accountability. My last morning in Austin, I'm packing when Matthew knocks on the door frame. You need a ride to the airport? I got an Uber, thanks though. He leans against the frame. You good? Yeah, just a lot to think about. He nods, doesn't push. We hug at the door. He tells me I'm welcome back any time. No bitterness, no lecture, just Matthew, unbothered, already planning his afternoon. In the Uber, I stare out the window. My phone sits in my lap. I pull it out and open Instagram. My fingers hover. Men are so afraid of strong women these days. I type it, stare at it, delete it. I open my texts, scroll to my best friend. I think my cousin might be right about some things. I stare at that too, delete it. I type instead, men are so checked out these days. Send. At the gate, I'm scrolling through dating apps, but every swipe feels different now. Less confident, more aware. I tell myself I'm just tired, that Matthew's an outlier, but deep down, I know I'll be replaying these conversations for a long time. Later, Matthew texts a photo, him and Colin at the climbing gym, grinning mid-route. I stare at it. They're fine, thriving even. I'm the one sitting here, spiraling. I close my phone and lean back. I told myself they were the problem. But what if I was?